They were sworn to protect and serve, but instead they abused the very power they were trusted with. What was meant to be justice turned into intimidation, and the cameras caught every second of it. These aren't just isolated mistakes. These are moments that pull back the curtain and expose the harsh truth hiding behind the badge.
A First Amendment auditor was peacefully protesting on the side of the road by holding a cardboard sign when several police officers approached him. The auditor was completely unaware of what was about to occur, as the police wasted no time in their actions.
Let it go. Let it go now. I'm just securing this for our safety. I don't want bear mace or whatever.
People have threatened me.
I'm sorry. Who threatened you?
Passers-by.
Well, that's because you're distracting them when driving by holding that sign up.
The officers didn't have the authority to arrest him because his speech was protected by the First Amendment, and he wasn't going to give up without trying to make that point clear.
And this is the part of their private property too, so you got to be careful when you're on property and distracting.
All right, that's fine.
Stuff, okay?
That's fine. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace.
Really?
Yeah, because you should be standing up for the First Amendment.
The auditor was clearly upset, and he ensured that his voice was heard.
Oh, I agree, but this is a busy roadway, so you got to be careful when you're trying to distract
That's
the driver
fine.
from it. So that's all.
That's fine. Yeah, but federal law supersedes Mook law.
Mook?
Yeah, Mook. Mooks and jabronis.
The specific right protected under the First Amendment here is the right to peacefully protest in public. However, the lingering question was, would the police uphold this constitutional protection?
I feel like that's a racist.
I haven't heard Mook.
I'm going to have to Google that.
You never heard of Mook?
I really haven't.
How about
You
you,
have
Mook?
another piano this way.
I'm not familiar.
Jabroni?
Well, I've heard of jabroni.
There you go.
You're a jabroni. Yeah.
There we go.
Bear mace.
The police displayed no signs of empathy and failed to grasp the seriousness of the situation.
You Italian?
You proud of yourself here? You proud of yourself?
Regular basis, I am.
Yeah? This is a high kill shelter. Animals
Oh, I
can't
don't
speak
work
for
here.
themselves.
No, I don't
Yeah,
work
well,
here.
I was given permission to protest here. All right? This is a sidewalk.
So you have your city
You
permit.
weren't.
In the meantime, one of the officers began to search him as they got ready to officially arrest him.
Yeah, get a good feel there, Pipe Arms.
Oh, that's inappropriate.
Oh, please.
At that moment, the auditor had a crucial question for the same officer, a question that left him without an answer.
Oh, by the way, I went to court today. Cool. And they wouldn't hear your citation. I tried to tell them. I'm here because the citation you gave me.
Didn't give you a citation.
You didn't give me a citation?
I served a warrant.
That was from 2.5 years ago. Nobody ever served it before that. Cool. High kill shelter.
It was evident that the police misused their power by arresting him without any clear cause, and even went as far as to seize his belongings.
Here it is. Making Hollywood proud.
Hollywood. Are we getting paid? Are we paid to do this? Hollywood?
No, it's just the way they portray the South. They just need to work.
Despite everything, the police exhibited no signs of regret or understanding, as demonstrated by the following events.
How about my glasses?
Just got
I can't see without them.
they got sunshine.
Yeah, of course they are.
He'll escort you in. He'll escort.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
The auditor was arrested and transported to the police station. However, this next group of cops escalated their power trip to an extreme level.
Well, I'm going to put you on notice. If you do either one of those, you'll be in violation of civil rights, and your qualified immunity won't survive.
On November 9th, 2023, at City Hall in Berry Hill, Tennessee, First Amendment Auditor Jeff Gray was holding a cardboard sign that read, "God bless the homeless vets," when he opted to enter the building to use the restroom. Inside, he recorded the following conversation, captured solely through audio.
Hey guys. Hey, thank you for letting me use the restroom. I'm just going to be out in front of the City Hall for about 30 minutes or so, then I'll be on my way.
We have to get a vendor license for you to do it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't cost anything. Or who are you? It's just you individually?
Yeah, just me.
We actually don't allow solicitation in Berryhill.
Okay, yeah, I'll just be out here for 30 minutes or so.
We don't allow that here.
All right.
Go across Thompson Lane.
I wasn't asking permission.
Shortly after this incident, Officer Carter from the Berryhill Police Department arrived at the scene.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
What can we help you with?
No, nothing. I'm good.
You good?
Yes, sir. You're Officer Carter?
Yes.
All right, my name's Jeff. How you doing?
Jeff, we don't allow soliciting here.
Soliciting is a civil right.
The officer didn't realize he was dealing with someone who had a deeper understanding of the law than him.
Soliciting is a civil right.
What's that?
Soliciting is a civil right protected by the First Amendment. It's a charitable appeal for funds.
The officer continued his investigation, to which Jeff responded with increasingly sarcastic answers.
It's free speech. That's what's soliciting.
You live near here?
I'm sorry?
You live near here?
No, I don't. No, I'm not from here.
Where you from originally?
I'm from the 70s originally. How about you?
I'm from the present. I'm here right now.
Oh, you're here right now?
I don't live in the past.
Gotcha. All right.
Officer Carter appeared to be in an unconventional scenario, and his actions distinctly reflected his sentiments.
Yeah, I just told them I was going to be out here for about 30 minutes, and I'll be on my way.
How long ago was that?
3 or 4 minutes ago, probably.
All right.
Despite Jeff's attempts to ease the tension, the officer continued to act obstinately, rendering his efforts fruitless.
I'm hard of hearing. I really am hard of hearing, so.
Well, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So I was just having a hard time hearing you over the traffic.
Well, maybe you should go somewhere where it's quieter, right?
Well, it's a lot of traffic out here, and I'm able to spread the message directly to people coming and going from City Hall.
Meanwhile, another officer showed up at the scene, attempting to understand the situation.
How you doing, officer? Good, how are you?
This young man says that if he thought he'll be here 30 minutes and then he'll be gone. I told him, well, no solicitation is allowed here. He says this is First Amendment right and take our free speech.
Jeff stayed determined and unyielding, refusing to crumble under pressure.
His name is Jeff. Somebody else.
Yeah, Jeff.
They'll give me the last name.
Yes, sir.
All right. He's not. He said he's not from here. He's from the 70s.
70, yeah. You look like you're probably about the 70s too, right?
No.
You look like you're probably from the 90s.
I wish.
The officer attempted to intensify the situation, but Jeff, demonstrating his deep knowledge of the law, intervened.
Yeah, man, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not causing any problems. I'm just out here doing this the day before Veterans Day, spreading this message. God bless the homeless vets.
I got you. I mean,
Gave
you got
the
the right to
freedom
do that. But did you sign up with the city hall to be
I
in a
don't-
peaceful protest?
I'm not required to do that.
With us, you are.
According to the First Amendment, I'm not. Constitution. So. Yeah, I wanted to use the restroom, and I thanked them for using the restroom. Then I said, I'd just be out here for about 30 minutes. They said, you need to get a permit or something like that.
Yeah, the permit with it.
And I was like, well, I'm not asking for permission. I've already got that from the Constitution.
Despite everything, the officer was determined to make sure Jeff received some kind of penalty. And at that point, he decided to issue him one last warning.
So if you guys could just let me be for 30 minutes, and I'll be on my way.
Well, we'll go check with them, but if they don't want you here, then we're going to have to escort you out or take you to jail, whichever one you want to do.
Well, I'm going to put you on notice. If you do either one of those,
Okay.
you'll be in violation of my civil rights, and your qualified immunity won't survive doing that.
Sure. Okay.
Right?
While the officer went into the town hall for further investigation, Officer Carter continued to create obstacles for Jeff.
To them, they fly. Just because you don't notice. Well, we had somebody did the same thing. They were sovereign citizens, whoever they were, and said, hey, your qualified immunity doesn't protect you here, blah, 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 blah.
Officer Carter was once again left stumped, unable to respond convincingly to Jeff's logical reasoning.
What was that?
Well, this is freedom of speech on traditional public forum at the steps of City Hall, and I mean, I have a right to be here, you know? And you guys can't require me to get a permit to do it. I mean, it's not not lawfully, you can't require me to get a permit.
Officer Carter made a nonsensical claim suggesting that city laws take precedence over the Constitution. Once again, Jeff made sure that the truth prevailed.
Yeah, here in the city of Berry Hill, we're required to have a peddler's license to solicit.
Well, I definitely am soliciting. No doubt about that.
You got to have a peddler's license. Even the guys we have here, they're working for the contributor or something like that, and they got a proper credentials, authorized to do it.
Like I said, the Constitution authorizes me to do what I'm doing.
Jeff conceded that he was soliciting, yet his motive was undoubtedly commendable.
Okay. Like I'm soliciting, but what I'm soliciting is compassion and love for homeless veterans. The day before Veterans Day, tomorrow's Veterans Day. I put it in my heart.
Tomorrow's not Veterans Day.
Huh?
Tomorrow's not Veterans Day.
Oh, when is it?
Saturday,
sir.
At some point, the officer came back from City Hall with a document in hand. For the first time, he was taking the correct steps. But the question was his correct action too delayed?
Yes, sir.
Are you selling anything?
I'm not, no.
I didn't have a problem with you standing out here for that in the beginning, so
okay.
Thanks for doing that for them.
All right.
As long as you're not selling anything, not trying to beg for anything, any kind of money, or impeding any kind of traffic ways or entrance ways, exit ways, then you're good out here. I'll just give you the ordinance.
The officers eventually recognized that Jeff hadn't broken any laws. However, it's distressing to witness the widespread ignorance among police officers.
Here, I'll just give you the ordinances, restrictions and stuff right here. That's all of our restrictions that we have.
Okay.
You're not violating anything as long as you're not sitting around blocking anything, like I said. But
nope.
If you want to, here's all of our ordinance for everything that has to do with solicitation. If you want to go ahead and read that.
Okay.
But just want to let you know, if you do get a call that you're soliciting, I'm not saying you're going to. You only have that usually. So.
Okay.
But other than that, then you're good.
Right. Like I said, the only thing I'm soliciting is goodwill and compassion for the homeless guys.
Despite evading the police, Jeff delivered one last lesson about the law to them.
Like I was the argument earlier when he said soliciting was even if you are panhandling, the courts have ruled that that's a charitable appeal for funds and it's free speech. I mean, they can't outlaw somebody from just asking for help because it's free speech.
Gotcha. Well, you got it all there. You've been cool, so appreciate it.
Okay, you guys. All right, won't do it. Y'all have a blessed day. Gotcha.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right, y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe.
Jeff evaded the corrupt cops thanks to his extensive knowledge and resilience. However, it seems that not everyone is as fortunate as him. Arkansas police officers were called to respond to reports of a man making threats outside of a convenience store. The situation quickly escalated, and a bystander captured this shocking video.
Oh, shit.
Two deputies from the Crawford County Sheriff's Office and one officer from the Mulberry Police Department were involved, and the situation would only worsen from this point onward.
God. We gotta get out of here.
The suspect, identified as 27-year-old Randall Worster, allegedly spat at the store clerk and made threats of domestic terrorism. Following the release of the video, all three officers involved were suspended. Randall was subsequently taken into custody on multiple charges, including second-degree battery, resisting arrest, and making terroristic threats. He was later released from prison after posting a $15,000 bond.
Next up, a firefighter does his job, saves a life, and gets arrested for it. Yes, you heard that right. This is the kind of story that makes you question everything.
On October 9th, 2020, Joseph Garces was driving down a street in Santa Paula when he noticed a woman standing on the sidewalk talking on the phone. He pulled over and saw a man lying face up in a parking lot, severely injured.
Don't go to the car. Don't go to that car. Stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here. Come over here. That's your car?
That's my car. I was driving by. I saw it. I'm a retired firefighter.
Okay.
I'm not a part of this.
We don't know anything about that. We see a gun in the car. You're not going there. Do you have your ID?
It's in the car.
What's your name?
Joe Garces.
Joe Garces, you got to relax, okay? We know you're helping us out.
Wait, but you guys aren't listening either. That's part of the problem. Yeah.
So I said we appreciate your being involved. Okay. We just run it.
That's his knife. I took it out of his pocket to cut his shirt off.
And that's your vehicle?
Yeah, I was driving north. I saw the lady. They were looking this way, and I saw him down, and I thought it was beer or something. Spun around and came in, saw the blood. She said they were calling 911. I screamed, has he been shot? And she said, yeah, as I was pulling in.
Okay.
Saw the gunshot wound to the side of his face. I did a quick check, found the gun in his waistband, rendered it useless, stuck it inside my car, grabbed his knife, cut off his shirt, and then you guys...
Before the officers arrived at the scene, Joseph Garces provided his account of the incident. A former firefighter, his first aid expertise proved crucial in saving the man's life.
We appreciate it.
Huh?
So I got a crime scene, sir. I'm a detective.
Yeah, and I'm here helping him, so step the off. Okay? If you're a good detective, you wouldn't be yelling at me right now. You'd be taking care of your job.
Over here.
You. I can't get the...
Get out of my crime scene.
What are you going to do to me?
Get out of my crime scene. I'm going to make you next time. Get out of my crime scene.
Come with me, Mr. Garces. Mr. Garces.
That's my... No wonder people don't give you guys the benefit of the doubt. And I worked with you for 27 years. When do I get my car back then? Hey, tell them... Thank you for teaching me not to be helpful, you fat piece.
You have to step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. I don't know who you're
Oh, yeah, so now you're going to come over with me, huh? You're doing a really good job right now, aren't you?
Seemingly out of nowhere, Detective Rivera ordered Joseph to leave the crime scene, displaying unnecessary aggression. What the detective did next was truly distasteful.
You need to calm him. I need you to back up. Come here. No.
I got it. Come here.
No, you need to understand. Hands off me. Really, the paint compliance, that's what we need to do? Because you don't like me talking.
What's his name?
Take it down a notch.
You can take
it
it
down a notch.
Somebody here's not controlling themselves. It's you.
Take a deep breath.
Don't be a hypocrite.
I've taken a deep breath. It's your turn.
Yeah, don't be a hypocrite.
You want to talk like adults? I'll let you go.
Okay,
You want to talk
did
like
you
adults?
start talking to me like an adult?
Do you understand how I need to
Do you
do my
see
job?
what you're doing wrong?
If you know how to do this job and you have a badge, then you would understand. Now, do you want
It's
to go
so
for 148 if you have a badge?
It's so
Do you have a badge?
Yes,
Are you
I
retired?
do. Yes.
Do you want to go for 148 for being in a crime scene? Just because sergeants like patrol don't know how to do their job, and you were a
You're
cop
saying
at
your
one time-
sergeant doesn't know how to do his job?
Take him. Turn around. Where's your badge at?
In my Jeep, like I keep saying, but
We're
you won't
at your
listen.
Jeep. We're adding your Jeep.
Hey, you go see it when you look
Do
in
you
the
want
front
your
of
car?
Jeep.
Do you want me to have to write a search warrant and keep it, or do you want to keep your car?
Hey, check that out. I stopped to help somebody who's been shot. I'm getting arrested.
Have a seat for a second.
Just so you know, I'm retired because of PTSD.
Got it.
Major anxiety problems.
Got it.
Being in handcuffs doesn't help me. And I know you guys got to do it. Keep away from me.
You got it.
He is accelerating this way more than I am.
I won't let him talk to you anymore. You want the windows down or anything?
Can we just sit right here with me, the door open? I ain't going anywhere, dude. You guys all know
I'll
where
sit
I
right here
live.
for now.
I mean, I know what you guys do. I mean, I did it with you for 27 years in Oxnard, not Santa Paula.
Right.
To have that happen, that's as unprofessional as anything I did, and a cop shouldn't lose it like that. You and I both know that.
Joseph wasn't messing with the crime scene at all. Rivera only messed with it as payback when Joseph stood up to him.
Absolutely. Hey, Cap, can we get some decontamination for a guy in the back of the car here? He was doing CPR, got blood on him. I got the fire captain come over.
Joseph was detained by the cops for 15 minutes before being taken to the hospital. It was there that doctors reported he had a dislocated shoulder and a torn labrum, which required surgery. Garces, now 54, also says he experienced significant emotional trauma. The person shot, Samir Salgado, managed to survive. A few days afterward, Richard Steven Valencia from Santa Paula was arrested. Joseph later sued the city of Santa Paula and Detective Rivera for violating his civil rights, using excessive force, battery, and negligence. If you thought the last case involved excessive force, wait until you hear about this one. It's a whole new level of brutality.
Chance, man.
No. Get the f out.
On August 20th, 2020, Somerville Corporal Robert Barano pulled over Timmy Miles, a 42-year-old grandfather, during a traffic stop. Reports indicated that a package containing drugs was addressed to Miles's home, but the intended recipient, whose name was provided, didn't reside there.
I know what you picked up over there, okay?
What I picked up?
Yeah. Come on. Get out of the car.
No, I ain't getting out the car till y'all tell me what's going on.
We're
now.
about to tell you what's going on. Come on out.
No, bro. What's going on? Let me record this.
Okay.
Y'all got y'all. What y'all got y'all
Yeah,
camera
we're
on?
recording right now, so come on
What's
out.
going on?
We got the camera on.
Yeah, come on out.
Tell you, all right?
Come on out.
Oh,
'cause
no,
I don't wanna have to
grab me.
force
Don't
you.
grab me. Don't grab me.
Well, we're telling you, giving you lawful order. If
saying,
you don't
why?
get out, you're about to get ripped out of the car.
Well, go ahead.
So don't.
I got a back problem. Don't rip me out.
I'm not trying to do that, so
Well,
come
what's
on
going
out.
on then?
Come on out. We'll explain it to you.
Tell you, dude. Come on, step out of the car.
It appeared that the officer didn't have an ounce of doubt that Robert was somehow involved with drugs, and what unfolded next is not something for the faint of heart.
I'm not letting you go.
Bro, let me
This is
go,
your
bro.
last chance, man.
No.
'Cause you're... Get the f out.
Hey, bro. I'm telling you, what's going on? What's going on?
What
Don't put me in my face. Hurt, man. That shit hurt. Yeah, I sure do. My face is hurt, man. Somebody punch me. I'm a good citizen. Punch me.
Raven,
No, man, let me go.
The cop followed through on his threats without a hint of remorse, forcefully pulling Miles out of the car, choking him on his seatbelt, and delivering punches in the process. They were searching for the package.
It's not there.
What's that?
They lost sight of the box, and this car left. We stopped it. He didn't want to get out. We had to extract him. It's not there. Yeah. Yep.
Somebody sit on the house?
We got them bookers.
Yeah, just get still on the porch.
Naz. Naz.
Resisting. Oh, mother. Man, y'all get
It's on the porch still. Hey.
Blackmail was a hand on the package. He's been pacing around.
We'll get a dog, because right now he's going to say no. He didn't pick up the package. So let's get a dog, make sure there's probable cause. We search the car. I already pumped the trunk for safety,
But it turned out they had made a colossal mistake. The cops arrest, illegally search, and beat up an innocent civilian, only to try to establish probable cause afterward.
Cause I'm mad, bro. No, ain't nobody be mad. I'm 40. I bet I'm older than you, bro. Thank you. Now why not be mad? I paid my mother taxes and shit, man. Bro, I don't care. My kids up there.
You want to act like this in front of your kids? Exactly.
They will be mad pissed if I come back with a black eye, bro. Imagine you getting hit in the face for that shit because you won't get out the car. You don't know what's going on.
The package the police were desperately after was still at the location where they first spotted it. Listen again to how confidently this cop lied.
I know what you picked up over there, okay?
This squadron of corrupt cops couldn't even muster one brain cell to verify if the box had been moved from its original spot before subjecting the old man to torture.
I shouldn't have got punched in my face just because somebody stopped me. You know that's wrong. Come on, man. Come on. No.
You refuse to get out of the car.
Refuse to get out of the car. I went like, oh, this man grabbed me first. I said, why are you grabbing me? I got a right for my rights now. Come on now. It's so much shit going on. Y'all, come on. Y'all could have been nicer about the situation, man. You behind me. I did the right thing. I stopped. You start asking me questions like, oh, I'm like, what the going on? And then you order me to get out the car for what? I don't supposed to step out of my comfort zone. Come on, y'all know better than that. This man choking me. People that died over choking this shit. I got grandbabies and children.
Well, the good news is that you're alive and you're kicking and you're innocent.
That's wrong, man. That brought back a lot of flashbacks, bro. You going down for that? For real? On everything, you going down. If you take my life, you going down. For choking me, you going down. I'm not threatening you, but God's gonna get you, bro. For real, you ain't had to put your hand on my neck.
At this point, the First and Fourth Amendments might as well be a joke. Any cop can trample over them, and it feels like civilians don't have any rights left. It's a sad truth that's been proven time and time again.
If it ain't nothing on me, I do not want a search on my car. Nope. I do not allow a search on my Nope. I do not conduct a search on my car.
All the way,
I'm going to the doctor. My car is broke. I know my jaw, bro.
Mario is in there.
Despite Miles's clear and repeated refusal to consent to the search of his car, and despite the K-9 unit failing to indicate any presence of drugs, the cops proceeded with the search regardless. Following the incident, Miles was transported to the hospital to receive treatment for the cut under his eye caused by the officer's punch. Subsequently, he was placed under arrest. Surprisingly, Miles found himself arrested on charges of possession with intent to distribute marijuana and disobeying a lawful order by police, despite his explicit explanation that he was prescribed marijuana for back pain relief, backed up by receipts. Fortunately, both of these charges were ultimately dismissed. Corporal Robert Barano faced termination from the department less than 2 weeks after the incident and was charged with third-degree assault and battery. The incident was deemed unjustifiable, unreasonable, and a violation of department policy and state law.
Next, these ignorant cops crossed the line, arresting a veteran who served the very country they swore to protect. The disrespect is unreal.
When a sergeant got a call from his deputies on a cold December night, he never imagined he'd end up in the interrogation room himself.
Today's date is Friday, December 24th, 2021, and the time is 7:03 p.m. The location of this interview is the command staff conference room at the New Smyrna Beach Police Department. Presently being interviewed is Sergeant Richard Kirkland. I am Lieutenant Mark Severance with the New Smyrna Beach Police Department. Are you aware this interview is being recorded?
I am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the statement you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sergeant Richard Kirkland found himself in a tough spot after 2 of his deputies called him for help.
On December 14th, 2021, there was a CAD call asking for police to respond to 143 Canal Street in reference to a suspicious person. Are you familiar with that call?
I am.
Were you working as the Bravo shift supervisor that evening?
I was.
So you were filling in for another supervisor,
Yes,
correct?
I was on overtime. Correct. The suspicious person call came out, was dispatched to Galt about a male bothering customers and asking for money. I was contacted by Officer Beatty after the call for service, not during it, but yes.
Okay, so you had no knowledge of what was going on at the scene at the time when either Officer Galt was there or Officer Beatty was there?
Correct.
So, you said Officer Beatty calls you, you believe, at the end of his interaction?
Correct.
The person they found suspicious is Jeff Gray, a U.S. Army veteran and retired truck driver whose deepest fears were on the verge of becoming reality.
She doesn't want to. The business. Oh. She died for this? Huh? She died for this?
Why? She said you're asking the customers for money and stuff like that.
Well, God bless them, so.
Okay, well, they don't want you up front of the business.
I don't want you up in front of the business.
Okay, well, that's not how this is
So
going
you
to
can go get in your car and leave?
No. They said you're asking for money and stuff like that.
That's what they said? It's hearsay.
Huh?
It's hearsay.
That's...
I say I'm not asking for money.
Okay, well, they said you're up front. So can you just go somewhere else?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going somewhere. I'll put it in my heart to stand right here. I'm staying right here.
Okay, but they don't want you blocking the sidewalk and stuff.
I'm not blocking the sidewalk.
Okay, do you have your ID on you?
I don't have any ID on me now.
Okay.
And if I did, I wouldn't give it to you anyway.
Alright, well, you need to just move along there. That's all they want you to do.
Nope, not happening.
Why?
Because I'm just saying God bless someone's does.
Okay, yeah, and you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
They just don't want you in front of their business.
Sometime earlier, Officer Brett Galt had received a troubling call from a business manager.
What did they tell you?
The call note started out saying that there was a male dressed in all black, black shirt, black jacket, and originally he was asking for money from people outside in there, and that's all I read because I was right around the corner from the scene.
So what crime were you intending to investigate there?
Well, at that point they said that he was at or in the business asking for money, and the business owner just wanted him to be moved along, and they didn't want anything to happen to him, but at that point he was in the business asking people for money, as far as I understood from that point.
Okay.
While recounting the incident, Officer Galt continually struggled to keep his composure. The reason for his difficulty would only emerge much later.
Upon your arrival on scene, what did you observe?
A black male, or not a black, a white male dressed in all black, standing on the sidewalk.
Can you describe the interaction you had with him?
Normal questions I had, just what are you doing there? Is there a purpose you're up here? Stuff like that. He was just keeping to himself at that point.
Okay. What did he tell you he was doing?
That he was just whatever the sign was like. God bless the homeless vets. He was just trying to make people aware of that. Okay. And he just kept going on to that topic.
But that wasn't the entire truth.
You're not asking for money?
I am not asking for money.
Okay, your sign doesn't say it, so I don't know. I mean, have you asked anybody for money?
I mean, I'll tell you, my name is Jeff. What's your name?
Officer Galt.
Officer what?
Galt.
Galt?
Yes, sir.
G-A-U-L-T?
G-A-O-T. And you haven't asked for money or anything like that?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay. Can I just see the back of your sign? Alright. You're making this more complicated than it has to be.
No, I'm not. I'm standing here on the sidewalk saying God bless homeless veterans.
I know, but are you talking to any of these customers?
Yeah, I'm saying God bless homeless veterans.
Okay, well, if they don't want you talking, then you just can't keep saying the same thing over and over again, causing a problem with them.
Alright, well, have a nice night.
Okay, well, they just want you moved along, so can you go move along for me?
No, sir. I didn't know you guys had body cams.
Yeah. Every agency has body cameras, so.
Jeff had some wisdom to impart to Officer Galt, but the officer had already firmly sided with the other perspective. Officer Galt needed to clarify a few facts.
Location, did you know what was public property and what was business property? Roughly.
Yeah.
Why did you tell Mr. Gray that asking for money is technically against city ordinance?
At that point, I thought panhandling was a city ordinance violation.
Okay, so it was your belief that it was?
Yes, sir.
Where did you get that?
I thought that early on in the training that we had a call, and there was people asking for money, and I thought that we looked up a city ordinance violation that was panhandling, and it's not a city ordinance violation. It's a state statute actually. So,
what's the state statute refer to?
Like if you're blocking, like stepping out in traffic, blocking people's right to move.
So it's a 316 violation for some type of impediment of traffic.
Right.
If
It's
you're
traffic violation.
soliciting or entering the traffic patterns, right? That wasn't the case here, was it?
No.
Okay. Did you speak with the reporting party inside the business?
I did.
So describe your conversation with him.
I tried to talk to him and be like, hey man, and I don't ever be in trouble or I just don't want my customers to be.
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, she's scared to leave. She didn't want to leave. Is that what you're saying?
Good?
No.
I changed my mind about the ID. I will show you my ID.
Okay. Alright.
Here's my ID.
Alright, yeah. Well, can you just move along for me? That's all they want you to do.
I'm not moving along.
The accusations continued to mount.
He initially was like, oh, he was up talking to people at the table, asking them for money, and then when my waitress went out, he went on to say that he was harassing her, and he wouldn't go into detail of that, and the waitress didn't want to go into detail about that either.
Okay.
So at that point, I went back out and
you re-engaged Mr. Gray.
I did, yeah. At that point, I believed he might have been asking people for money due to him not answering my questions. So that's why I went back out and re-engaged with him. I thought we had something maybe stirring up.
So at this point, you're still thinking panhandling is a city ordinance violation, and you're acting on that assumption.
Feeling uncertain about what to do next, Officer Galt hastily makes a decision he would soon find himself regretting.
Who did you call on the phone when you went inside the business?
I called Officer.
And what did you tell him?
I told him what the business owner just told me, and that at this point, I just need someone else to kind of hear the stories and work through it and see what we have.
When Officer Beatty arrived, did you go meet him?
I did, yes. I gave him a rundown of what was going on and what the business owner told me and what the mail was actively doing at that point.
Okay. Okay, can you describe Officer Beatty's initial contact with Mr. Gray?
This is my ID.
You want to play that game?
I'm not showing you anything else. At this point, I'm invoking my right to remain silent. I'm invoking my right to have my attorney present during questions. I'm not answering questions. I'm not giving you ID.
So you're going to end up going to jail.
I told him my name is Jeff, and that's all I'm giving you.
No, if you want to give us your information, then that's fine. But we still have to.
Am I being detained at this point?
Yes.
For what?
For the identification of you, which is an investigation that they started.
Okay, I'm not giving any identification. I would like to remain silent.
The second officer to arrive on the scene, Officer Beatty, had his own understanding of what had happened.
When you arrived at the scene, did Officer Galt meet with you and provide you information concerning the call before you spoke with the subject?
I believe I parked across the street.
Okay.
And as I walked across the street, we met halfway.
What did he tell you?
To my recollection, he just said that he wasn't cooperating, and I don't really think he said anything else besides that.
Okay. When you made contact with Mr. Gray, you confirmed that he was on a public sidewalk and told him the business said he was asking for money and that they had every right to have him move along. Is that correct?
I did.
Is asking for money in a public place, public sidewalk, is that a crime or a city ordinance violation?
To my knowledge now.
Despite his initial uncertainty, Officer Beatty displayed a surprising amount of confidence in taking matters into his own hands.
At this point, you're being detained, okay? So, let me see this. Do you have anything in your pockets that don't poke, stab, or anything?
Since you're asking me if I have anything in my pockets, I am armed, lawfully.
Okay.
Concealed carry permit.
Okay, where's it at?
Here's my hands. It's in my pocket.
In your front pocket?
Yeah. Here's my hands. Perfect. Matter of fact, why don't you guys just put me in cuffs? I don't want any.
Yeah.
Since I'm armed, I don't want any.
I don't want.
Okay.
Right now, I'm making sure you have no knives on you. And then when they write a statement saying that you were breaking the law, what's this? Is that a knife or no?
At this juncture, to an ordinary observer, it might seem like standard procedure to handcuff Jeff for not presenting his ID. However, it becomes evident that Jeff had a better understanding of the law than the police officers did.
Threatens him that he's going to go to jail if he doesn't give him his identification because he's there investigating a crime to which he claims the business started the complaint. The male, I think, could see that he was going to be put into handcuffs, so he alerts the officers that he is armed and that he is lawfully armed, he has a concealed weapons permit, and he kind of puts his arms out in front of him.
Okay.
Officer Beatty, and he makes it an exaggerated movement. He says, here's my hands out here. And Officer Beatty goes to, take the gun out of his pocket. I think that the male maybe felt a little uncomfortable with the officers taking the gun out of his pocket with his hands just being there.
Right.
So he actually suggests, guys, maybe I should be put in handcuffs. So then you see Officer Galt, that's when he comes in and puts the guy in handcuffs while Beatty's retrieving the firearm, and then ultimately searches the male, locates, I believe, some magazines in another pocket.
However, did Officer Beatty have a valid justification for proceeding with his actions?
I had the manager was standing right next to us, and he was saying that his waitresses were scared to come out and that they felt threatened and that he was on private property asking for money.
So up to this point, when you asked for ID, up to this point in your investigation, did you have any reasonable or articulable suspicion that Mr. Gray was committing, or was about to commit a crime or violation of city ordinance?
I did.
What crime were you thinking of?
That he was either trespassing or, but that's just based off of what the manager was saying. He was saying that his waitresses were being threatened, or felt threatened.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall hearing anything about that from the person, but...
The interrogating officer immediately called officers Beatty's bluff. His narrative was entirely skewed.
Can you tell me why you decided to detain Mr. Gray?
Well, it was in front of a restaurant that was open and full, and I didn't want to make the scene because he was being not aggressive, just argumentative and defiant. So I wanted to take him across the street so that we can figure out what was going on without creating more of a scene.
As you moved to detain Mr. Gray, did he tell you that he was armed lawfully and had a concealed weapons permit?
Yes and no. He said he was armed. He said that he was armed, but he didn't say anything about the concealed weapons permit until we got across the street.
Well, I have to correct you on that, because if you watch the video, he does say, I'm armed, pauses for a second, lawfully, and I have a concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
As you were taking the sign from him. So that's a matter of record. That's what was said,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm not arguing with
Okay.
it. That's just my recollection.
Okay.
Officer Beatty scrambled to mask his mistake, yet his efforts only served to worsen the situation, further entrenching himself in trouble.
Why did you seize the firearm before he was secured in handcuffs, or at all, if he was only being detained pending further investigation?
Well, at that point, because I thought he was committing a crime, otherwise I want to put him in handcuffs, that he's resisting without violence. I'm trying to conduct an investigation, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't want to identify himself, so that's why I detained him. And if I'm detaining somebody, I'm not going to leave a weapon on him.
Okay, but wouldn't it be more prudent to handcuff him first and then deal with the weapon issue if you felt compelled to do that? Well, he was being handcuffed.
Right.
That had not been done yet, and you were already diving in his pockets. After you walked him across the street, did he advise you that you were violating his civil rights and to proceed cautiously?
Yes.
What was your response to that? Do you recall?
I don't recall.
Once again, the truth turned out to be slightly different.
Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand that you're forcing a hand that doesn't need to be forced. Okay? We're not here to take your gun. You'll have it back. Right now, it's mine because we had to detain you. Okay? That's what you pretty much asked us to do. Okay? When you don't want to identify yourself, then we're called. So it's totally different if we're driving by, and that's you over there, right? You're not requesting anything on your sign. You're not breaking any laws. Okay? When they complain to dispatch that you're asking for money, and that there are customers who are telling the staff that is against the law. So we're doing an investigation to see if that actually occurred. Okay? That's the only reason why you're being detained. But because it's an actual investigation of a complaint, you have to identify yourself. That's state statute. Okay. Just make sure you're aware of what's going to go down, because you won't.
They had made yet another mistake, and Sergeant Kirkland stepped in to clear the air.
The gentleman was not creating a crime, or was not committing a crime. He was completely within his rights. He was on a public sidewalk, and he was simply holding a sign saying, "God bless the homeless vets." Wasn't doing anything illegal or suspicious, for that matter. They did not have a right to detain him, to seize him, his property, or anything. That was my ultimate findings.
Jeff, who had been holding a sign displaying a harmless message in support of homeless veterans, had been on the right side throughout the confrontation.
Officer Beatty is explaining to him that this is the reason as to why he's getting arrested, or why he's been detained, I should say, not arrested.
Right.
And the guy says, "Well, since you have my firearm, I'll go ahead and let you get my concealed weapons permit." And he tells him it's in my wallet, in my pocket. He directs Beatty to the wallet, and ultimately Beatty gets his concealed weapons permit. He uses that to identify him by name and date of birth. He runs him on teletype and confirms that he's not wanted. He doesn't run the concealed weapons permit number to verify that it's valid.
Okay.
But he does verify that the male is not wanted. So he uses that to say, okay, now since you've identified yourself, I'm going to let you go, basically. That's when they unsecure him. Beatty actually hands him his firearm back and tells him to put it in his pocket. Again, you can see the subject's kind of uncomfortable with that, but ultimately he does take the gun, put it in his pocket, and again pronounces his hand movement, saying, I think he put it up on the police car, so I'll leave my hand right here. And then Beatty went to go make contact with the business.
Okay. So Beatty goes into the business and makes contact with the manager, Axel. Is that correct?
Yes.
The business manager, however, had another wrinkle to add to this story.
Hey, have you guys been out here the whole time? Have you guys been out here the whole time?
Yeah, I've been in and out.
Is he asking for money?
He was standing out here with the sign. I didn't hear him ask for money, no.
Okay.
I do know that my employee was uncomfortable coming out here. because we offer table service out here, and he was just standing. He was standing on our property for some of the time, and
so he was standing in here.
My employee was uncomfortable with it.
The entire confrontation had been orchestrated by an entitled manager who simply wanted to eject Jeff from his property. And indeed, he required a blunt reminder about the actual facts of the matter.
So even though my employee's uncomfortable and now I know he's armed, that's okay.
Which he's legally allowed to be.
Right.
You know.
It doesn't. A lot of people are legally allowed to be that shouldn't be, apparently.
Well, I mean, that's another tree to bark up. I mean, that's not.
I know.
That's not something that we can
It's not something we're going to solve tonight,
Yeah.
right? No, I get it,
But nobody heard him begging for money.
I've been in and out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Appeared from watching the video that the bar manager, the reporting party, that I believe his name is Axel, thought that the entire sidewalk belonged to their business. It clearly doesn't. It's a public sidewalk.
As for Jeff, he did what any law-abiding citizen would do in his situation.
The guy asked if he was free to leave. He had originally asked for a card from Beatty. Beatty said he would go get him a card, and he goes in the car. That's actually when Beatty calls me, and the subject, I think, was kind of almost maybe tired of waiting, and he asked Officer Galt for what their names were, and then he just says, "I don't need a card, I'll just leave," and then he walks away.
The system had let him down, and this was precisely what Jeff was determined to demonstrate. While the officers discovered his gun, magazine, and permit in his possession, they overlooked something crucial.
I reviewed the video that was recorded by the subject and posted to social media. I also reviewed the both body-worn cameras from Officer Galt and Officer Beatty.
There were several cameras at the scene capturing every moment that transpired. A body cam worn by Officer Galt, the initial responder. A body cam worn by Officer Beatty, the agitated officer who acted hastily. And a body cam owned by Jeff, who was conducting his own sting operation.
Probably stand over here in front of this brewery, the New Smyrna Beach Brewery. Just stand on the public sidewalk and say, "God bless the homeless vets." And hopefully they will respect my right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press on public property. And as always, God bless the homeless veterans.
All of Jeff's fears had come true. The cops seized his lawfully owned weapon, detained him, and handcuffed him. Yet if they had taken the time to consider the facts, this situation could have been avoided.
God bless homeless vets.
I appreciate what you're doing, but I can't have you doing it here. I'm sorry. No soliciting out here.
Oh.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm going to stay here. God put it in my heart to do this. So I'm going to stay right here and do this.
I mean, I could call the police too, but I don't want to do that.
I don't want you to do that
Trying to
either.
talk to you man to man, you know?
Yeah, I don't want you to do that either. All right, so you don't own the sidewalk?
I do up to here.
No.
Yeah.
No, sir. God put it in my heart to stand here on the public sidewalk. You don't own the sidewalk?
We do right up to here, actually.
Right up to there?
Yep.
Okay.
So right now you are on our property. I'm asking you not to be soliciting outside.
Okay. Where would you rather me go?
I'm not sure. That's.
Okay. Can I have you move down there to the other corner?
I'm sorry?
Can I have you move down to the other corner?
No, this is my place of business here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going anywhere. This public sidewalk. God bless the homeless, and God put it in my heart to
It's
stand.
not. That, I just told you right. There's not public property.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Oh, that's okay. I'll call the police. Thank you.
Too bad if you're wrong.
The manager had framed an innocent, law-abiding citizen, and the cops had fallen for the story.
We've already talked about Officer Beatty and the phone call part that happened. Do you feel that Officer Beatty and Officer Galt believe that panhandling was currently a city ordinance?
Absolutely. They both said it non-prompted on their body-worn cameras at separate times. I don't know where they would get that impression or where they may have learned that, but they definitely were under the impression that they did have legal authority to seize him based on that assumption. I don't think either one of them did anything intentionally wrong. I think that they were more or less ignorant that the fact that is that panhandling is just not illegal. We can't detain based on that.
But when it comes to upholding the law, ignorance is not bliss. Jeff Gray eventually took legal action against the police, defending his First Amendment rights. It was later revealed that the Alpharetta police had violated Gray's First Amendment rights 3 more times. Firstly, the lieutenant took over and switched off Gray's video camera. This act violated Gray's First Amendment right, which allows him to record police activities in public areas. Secondly, the lieutenant insisted on getting Gray's identification and conducted a search to obtain it. This action encroached on Gray's First Amendment right to speak without being forced to identify himself. Lastly, the lieutenant barred Gray from the area, infringing upon Gray's First Amendment right to engage in expressive activities in public spaces. However, Sergeant Kirkland intervened to defend his officers.
I think that Officer Beatty thought that he had the legal right to identify him because he was, in his mind, investigating a crime.
The truth, however, prevailed in the end.
He basically detained someone without the legal authority to do so. So clearly in violation of that policy. They were operating under the impression that what they were doing was correct, but were just misinformed.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you straight. Are you of the opinion that Officer Beatty and Officer Galt violated this subject's civil rights based on your review of the video evidence?
Yes, absolutely.
Lastly, these officers were caught breaking the law.
You see what this did? You see what he did? Don't put your hands on me. Do not.
On March 11, 2022, Jonathan Gesford found himself stationed on the roadside in Delaware, brandishing a bold sign that read "Radar Ahead," a not-so-subtle indication of the impending speed trap set up by the police down the road. However, his act of public service didn't go unnoticed. Officers Stephen Douglas and Nicholas Gallo soon appeared, alleging that Gesford was causing a traffic disruption.
I am engaged in a First Amendment activity that is protected by. You are not taking my property.
Listen to me. If you put it,
you are not taking my property. What's your badge number?
My badge number's right there. Okay.
Is that what you tell the judge?
What?
Is that what you tell the judge?
Is what would I tell the judge?
Right there.
Are you the judge?
I'm asking for your badge number.
My badge number's right there.
What is your badge?
It's
Articulate it.
It's right there. No,
articulate.
No, I'm not going to
articulate. Am I in detention? Are you detaining me? What are you detaining me for?
What?
What are you
You're
detaining?
Disrupting traffic,
I'm not
sir.
disrupting
Yes,
anything.
Are.
I am engaged in a First Amendment. I am not. You're a liar. You are a liar. I have never been in traffic. Never. So you can shut that up. I'm on the side of the road, legally parked, with a sign which is protected by the First Amendment. So you can. I'm disrupting nothing. I'm going to do it right here where I'm at. So I'm not.
Why have drivers coming up to me telling me that you're jumping out in traffic?
Because apparently they're erroneous. I don't give a what somebody else says. What did you witness?
A dash cam in one of the police cars proved that Gesford was parked on the side of the road. However, these cops had bad intentions, so they made up false claims against him.
Nothing of the sort. So keep your to yourself, pal.
You're very angry. Why so hostile?
Because you people are coming up here. I got a man trying to steal my property, telling me he's not going to let me do something that's constitutionally protected. No, I'm not. What's the statute for that? What's the statute? You see this man? He tried to take my property from my hands. You have no authority whatsoever over me because I've committed no crime.
You're not saying you committed a crime.
You're not saying I committed a crime and you just tried to steal my property.
I didn't try to steal it.
Yes, you did. You said I am taking. You have nothing. You're not going to not allow me because you have no authority to stop me. Period. No authority to stop me.
I'm not going to let you do it, sir. I'm not going to let you do it.
You have no authority to stop me.
You wanted our attention. You got it. I
Gesford asked the cops technical questions they couldn't answer. It turned out the only ones causing trouble were these two clueless officers.
That's fine. You can stand right there. But
I'm stand where I want. You ain't going to stop me because you have no authority to stop me. Put your hands on me. You see what this did? You see what he did? Don't put your hands on me. Do not. Give me my property back. You piece of. Give me my property back. You see this? You tyrant piece of. You tyrant. What are your badge number.
Step back, okay?
No,
Don't walk up
no,
to me
you
like
stole my property.
Did you see anything in my hands?
You
stole your
piece
property?
of
Have a nice day.
I want your badge number, you piece of that is assault. You assaulted me standing right here, you piece of
Statute, he would understand that's not assault. That's
Nicholas,
not assault.
you attacked me, forcibly removed my property.
The officers were most bothered by Guessford's sign, so they made sure to grab it, knowing it wouldn't be seen on their own dash cam.
Matter of fact, I'll just go to Walmart, get some new stuff, make a new one up.
Go ahead.
You just
Go ahead,
stole
spend your money. Go ahead.
my property.
The officers had no authority to take Guessford's property, and when asked about their unit, Officer Stephen refused to respond, perhaps fearing a complaint. But this encounter wasn't the end. Stephen pulled over Guessford again, this time appearing to have planned the charges in advance before even confronting him.
Nah, what's is it like a improper hand signal or something? Charge?
Good afternoon, sir. Corporal Douglas, Delaware State Police. The reason I stopped you is you had your hand out the window with
So
the
what?
finger.
So what? It's constitutionally protected speech.
Is there a reason why you're doing that? Is there a reason why you're doing that?
You're stopping me for constitutionally protected speech, right?
Because you had your hand out the window.
This is what I did. You got a problem with that?
Sir,
listen to me. Listen to me.
No.
All right, listen.
Go
That's
away.
called disorderly conduct.
No, it is not.
That is disorderly
That
conduct.
is called
If you are
freedom
doing it out in
of
the
speech.
If you are
No,
out in
no,
the public,
no,
you are out in the public and people see you.
No, it is
Can I get
not.
your license,
Here's
please?
what's going to happen.
No.
License, please.
No.
Here's what's going to happen.
I want your supervisor, please.
I am the supervisor. I am the supervisor.
License,
And that's why
please.
I'm here.
I'm going to reach into my pocket and
You're
get my
fine.
license.
You're fine.
And I'm going to take you to
You're fine.
court.
But here's what I'm telling you. Take it to court. That's what I want you to do. That's
License,
what I want you.
please.
I want you to take it to court.
So,
License,
but
please.
before we go any farther, you're pulling me over for what?
The two cops clumsily tried to come up with a reason to justify their stop, showing they should have done their homework before pulling him over.
Because you
disorderly conduct.
Because you had your finger out
Disorderly
the window.
conduct
Now,
what?
here's what's about to happen. You're about to be arrested again for resisting arrest.
No, I'm not resisting
Yes, well,
anything.
yeah. Right
No.
now you're being detained.
For
okay?
what?
You're being
I
detained.
told you why I stopped you already, sir.
For putting my middle finger up. That's
Yeah,
correct?
no,
correct.
no, exactly.
Correct.
Right.
You extended your arm out the window.
No, I had my
Yes,
middle
you
finger
did.
out the window.
Okay, let me get your ID.
You had your middle finger out the window, okay, yes. And that's what I said. You had your middle
Because the
finger
next
out
thing
the
you
window.
do, we're going to take you in, we're going to tow the car, and we'll call social services for the kid.
Oh, so
and
now
we'll
you're
go.
threatening. Now you're threatening my
No,
child.
it's not
No,
a
he's telling
threat.
what's
It's
gonna
a
happen.
promise.
You're threatening my child now.
I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Thank you very
Just let
much.
us have this
Thank you very
information.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very. I'm going to set this camera here to keep
That's
track
good.
of you
I
people.
want to be on camera.
They even went to the extent of threatening Guessford's son. Is this how our hard-earned tax dollars are being used?
Like you can't. I mean, he pulled him over for it, like giving him the middle finger. Yeah, for giving him middle finger. So yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, that'll get dropped. Yeah, that's gonna get thrown. I told him that's gonna get thrown out, but it's just going, it's gonna cause the problem. I was gonna give him back the sign, but the guy already ripped the sign up. So, because I went and talked to him, and obviously he didn't want to hear anything I had to say by that time, But yeah, so just giving you a heads up.
At least someone within the police force recognized that these baseless accusations wouldn't hold up in court. It's disheartening to see that officers like these are still patrolling our streets. Ultimately, the police issued Guessford a citation for an improper hand signal, which was quickly dismissed when he contested it in court. Guessford then took legal action against the officers, claiming they violated his First Amendment rights by confiscating his sign and issuing an unjust citation. The officers settled the lawsuit, agreeing to compensate Guessford with a $50,000 payout. It seems like in the end, the payout served as a form of retribution against the officers. While the previous officers were simply foolish, the next officer described committed a heinous act, tasering and assaulting a disabled civilian. On June 14, 2019, David Delaney, who had been sleeping in his vehicle at an apartment complex, encountered Officer Joshua Carroll. David explained to Joshua that he was simply waiting for his friend, But when Joshua demanded his identification, David declined. This refusal angered Joshua, leading him to resort to violence. Joshua deployed his taser on David multiple times, yet that didn't quench his sinister intentions. He then proceeded to strike David in the head with the taser. However, the next part is deeply disturbing, even upon repeated viewing of the footage. Viewer discretion is advised as the following minute is difficult to watch.
God damn it, quit, please hurt me. Will you quit, please? Put your other hand behind your back, I'm gonna hurt you more. No, you're not. Put your other hand behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back. Why are you fucking move? With it. Put your other hand behind your back. Get out. Oh my God, I'm put your hand behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back. I cannot. Yes, you can. Do it now. I physically can't. Officer, please. Put your hand behind your back now. Please listen. Do it fucking now. Please listen. Now. Put your hand fucking care. Put your hand behind your back now. Put your hand behind your back. I'm trying. Do it now. God, it hurts. I don't care. Be careful. I didn't do anything to you. I did not do something to you. I go into thing. Roll fire. Ouch. 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 Oh, why'd you do that?
There's only one word that adequately describes Joshua's actions: barbaric. David was already covered in his own blood, yet Joshua callously threw him onto the concrete road again, exacerbating the pain from his dislocated shoulder. All of this begs the question, for what purpose?
Stop hurting me! I'll keep hurting you if I need to. Move! Ouch! Ouch! Oh, please stop hurting me. Will you please stop hurting me? Don't move! You're hurting me so bad! You're hurting me bad! I don't care! Don't move! Why? Please quit hurting me! Nope! Will you please quit hurting me? Nope! Oh my God, what's the matter with you? I didn't do anything to you! I didn't do anything to you! Please stop hurting me! Do you have any weapons on you? No. I'm gonna make sure that's the case. No, I don't. I promise you. Will you please stop hurting me? Stop moving! Stop it!
David was left in tears, enduring multiple injuries and still bleeding from numerous open wounds. At this juncture, many would argue that Joshua deserved not just imprisonment, but potentially even a life sentence for his heinous actions.
David, what's your last name? What's your last name, David? Okay, fair enough.
You're trying to hurt me. I didn't do anything to you. I did not do anything to you. Ouch. Ouch. Ow.
Don't move. Look at the fire department coming for you. No, they're not coming off. They're not getting moved. They're not going anywhere.
Instead of offering comfort to the injured man, Joshua remained fixated on obtaining his last name. According to police reports, Dulaney was transported to the hospital and required stitches for the injuries sustained during the assault. An officer at the hospital noted that Dulaney appeared to have some form of cognitive impairment, but Carroll dismissed it as a pretense. Shockingly, Carroll even mentioned having altercations with special needs children while working as a school resource officer. When questioned about the pain inflicted upon Dulaney, Carroll reportedly told his sergeant, "No offense, but that was exactly what I was trying to do, was to get that pain compliance." As an internal investigation was initiated, Carroll was relieved of his uniform patrol duties. However, he resigned before facing termination by the department. It's infuriating that this officer evades charges and walks free. It's a grim moment for our police system. This incident deeply unsettles me. Do you believe Officer Carroll deserves a life sentence for his crimes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.